but he certainly would support a study of reparations. We understands that we don't need a study to take action right now on systemic racism, so he wants to take actions within his own government in the meantime.
So Joe Biden said he want to study reparations before he give reparations for black people. But how long did he study the anti-Asian hate bill before he gave the Asian community $156 million? And how long did he study before he gave the anti-LGBTQ hate bill $100 million? And how long did he study before he asked Congress for $30 billion for Afghan relief? And how long did he study after giving Israel $3.8 billion? But now Joe Biden has another group that he wants to give reparations to.
Administrations in negotiations to pay millions of dollars in reparations to families who were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border under Trump's zero-tolerance policy. The payments would amount to $450,000 per person.
Salaam Alaikum. Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam Rasulullah wa ba'd, in the name of Allah. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love with no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. This will not be a very long live. And firstly, I want to apologize if you've ever heard of these Neanderthals we're about to mention today. I want to leave. I want you. If you want to leave, right? By all means, go ahead. Right? But these are not good nor important people that we're about to talk about, not by any stretch of the imagination. However, we're not talking about this particular subject because of the characters involved. We're talking about this because it's sending a very big message to black men, okay? And to be honest, I've never heard a single Tory Lanez song, okay? And nor can I name one. I can't name one. I don't know anything about Megan Thee Stallion except for the WAP that she did with Cardi B, right? And we talked about that already. And they are both truly disgusting people, okay? So the question is, of course, well, why would I even cover this, right? I was casually following this trial, okay? I was following it casually. You understand? I really didn't care that much about the trial so much, but because the trial was getting so much attention in the news and it's always appearing in my news feeds and my social media, I was following it as a casual watcher, okay? Right? And of course, normally I would not bring this stuff in front of the people. However, this is so mind-boggling what happened, right? The only reason why I decided to expose my audience to this trial is because of the shocking outcome. That's it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about this at all. But the outcome was so shocking, right, that I said this is not about these characters. The message is not about these characters. The message is directed to black men directly. And that's why we are talking about this today, right? And black men everywhere. This should be a wake-up call for you. So let me just quickly summarize the trial, right, so that you guys can understand what was going on if you haven't been following it. Okay, so Meg Thee Stallion, this rapper, right, she alleges that Tory Lanez shot her in the feet due to an argument between her and him over their music careers, okay? And Tory Lanez says that the argument wasn't between her and Meg Thee Stallion, but rather her and her best friend, Kelsey Harris, right? And why was this argument happening between her and Kelsey Harris? Okay. The argument was happening because they were at Kylie Jenner's party. I can't believe I'm saying all these people's names. If you understand how gross I feel right now talking about these people, exposing, like, this is so, I mean, the people, they themselves are just disgusting, right? And I feel bad I have to mention their names, but it's because of the importance of the outcome. You'll see in a minute, right? They're at Kylie Jenner's party, right? And Tory Lanez and Kylie Jenner in the pool. Meg gets angry and says, "We gotta go." Okay. So, and this is where things get fishy. Okay. Kelsey, her friend Kelsey Harris, the one that just Make the Stallions her best friend, right, would only testify under immunity. Okay, she wanted an immunity clause for her to testify. That's the first fishy thing. Okay, mind you, this is Meg the Stallion's former best friend. Okay, Tory Lanez says that the whole argument that started, right? First of all, it was Meg the Stallion who was starting the argument, and he says that the reason why her and Kelsey were arguing is because he said, "Kelsey, why are you sticking up for Meg?" Because versus how it's the sisterhood, right? Versus this is her best friend. Why are you sticking up for Meg? She just comes around and follows you wherever you go, and basically goes and sleeps with whoever you sleep with. You sleep with Ben Simmons, she ran around sleep with Ben Simmons. You sleep with the baby, she'd be sleeping with you. Me and you are dealing with each other now. Now she running behind you, dealing with Tory Lanez. And that's how the whole argument started. Right? That's what they're saying, right? So she's essentially corroborating what Tory Lanez is saying, right? But why is she doing this under immunity? Mind you, the judge is asking her in a case, right? And I kid you not, right? She's saying this, and the judge is asking her, do you know who shot the gun? And she's saying, and I'm quoting here, "I please the fourth." Can I please the fourth? Can I please the fourth? These are the type of people you're talking about here. And judge says, "You mean plead the fifth?" She says, "Yes." And why is this important? Now, it's not up to Tory Lanez to prove anything. He's just trying to, his whole thing is to, put reasonable doubt, which I believe that his lawyers accomplished very, very well. But the whole point is that they're alluding to the fact that it was Kelsey, her best friend, who shot at Tory Lanez. That's the whole point. That's why she went under immunity. Right, so the whole internet community is kind of seeing this, right? And they're seeing that her best friend is corroborating her, but it's not just that. Meg's own bodyguard, okay, her own bodyguard. When it was time for him to testify, the day that he's supposed to testify, he disappears. He just disappears. These are all. There's no sound. There's no sound? Can you hear me? Okay, all right. These are all people that are supposed to be on Meg's side. And not only does the bodyguard disappear on the day he's supposed to testify, on the day when they find him, they finally find him, he doesn't testify. Her own bodyguard. Anybody can look this up if you're interested, right? Right. But anyway, this is not the point. I'm just telling you the details to understand why I'm doing this thing, right? So, anyways, her hairstylist confirmed in court. Yeah, her hairstylist confirmed in court that Meg the Stallion. They were all drunk, but Meg Thee Stallion, of course, was drunk. She was belligerent and she was causing trouble. And those of you who know the history of Meg Thee Stallion, she has a long history of domestic abuse, right? Because Meg Thee Stallion is not a little person. She's 5'10", maybe 180 pounds, easily. She's like a very big girl, okay? Tory Lanez is this little dweeby type thing. He's like maybe 140 pounds soaking wet, okay? Very skinny, short guy, right? So basically, Tory Lanez tells this to Kelsey, right? And all hell breaks loose in the car, right? And the only eyewitness in the case, the only unbiased, doesn't know either party eyewitness in this case said that the first shot came from the hands of a woman. That's what he said. This person, right? This eyewitness, okay? Because what he said, or the eyewitness, what they said was that they were awakened by an argument, because it's normal for them to be waken up in the night by these arguing people, right? They looked outside and they saw what they thought was a firecracker emanating from a woman's hand. Yeah, y'all getting this, right? So this is me just following as a casual watcher, okay? As a casual watcher, I'm watching all this. The gun itself didn't have the Torey, the weapon in question didn't have Tory Lanez DNA or fingerprints or anything. Rather, it was confirmed that woman's DNA was on the weapon, okay? The alleged weapon. Okay? So I'm just following this as a casual watcher. And this is like a really summarized version, right? I really don't want to get into too much details. But anyways, just from hearing that, right? I'm like, okay, there's no way that Meg Thee Stallion is going to win this case. It's impossible, right? But even after all that, Tory Lanez was found guilty on all counts, which goes back and stresses what we've been saying on this channel for so long, that black men need to be picky and choosy. You have no friends whatsoever when it comes to this devilish system. If you compare this to, for example, the Amber Heard and the Johnny Depp case. The reason why the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case blew up was because Johnny Depp had secretly recorded Amber Heard. That was enough to blow that case up. Just a secret recording. Imagine now, we are talking about Meg's best friend, Kelsey Harris, right? Before this case came out, she went on social media and said, basically saying Tory Lanez, shot Meg Thee Stallion. She said this on social, and the lawyers asked her about this in the case. And she said, yeah, well, I lied. She confirmed that she lied in her social media post about Tory Lanez shooting Meg Thee Stallion. And the prosecution was still allowed to play the thing that she said that she lied about in that case. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Right? But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, one of the most powerful weapons in this white supremacist system is, in fact, the black woman. Okay? I want you to think about how many black men do we know, right, that are either dead or in jail because of the results of a black woman. Okay? I want you to think about that now. Okay? We talk about how black women weaponize the system against black men all the time. All we have in this case, all the prosecution has at the end of the day is an allegation. That's it. They don't have anything else. They don't even have the people in Meg's car that were there corroborating her story. But rather, the people that were there present are corroborating Tory Lanez's story. And in a very, not outwardly, but basically they're saying that Tory Lanez, we didn't see Tory Lanez shoot Meg. That's what they're saying. In order not to implicate Kelsey Harris. You get it? Right? That's why Kelsey Harris went under immunity. You get it? So I'm trying to find anything. Like I'm looking, I'm looking because I was stunned. I was very stunned by the verdict, the outcome of the verdict, because I'm just watching casually, right? So I'm thinking like what everybody else is thinking. Okay, this case is going to get thrown out. When they're saying guilty of all charges, I looked. I said, well, what is making these charges stick? And I can't find a single thing. Not a single thing. Like one of the charges, maybe you can say that he's guilty of discharging an unregistered weapon. That one, okay, you can see it sticking, right? But the main charge of him shooting Meg the Stallion, which is the main thing, which he can possibly get 20 years for in the foot. Mind you, Meg the Stallion, the very next week was dancing on stage, performing. The very next week, which is something that the defense also put up. I watched Dennis Sperling, right, after the verdict came out. He's a lawyer and he knows this stuff very well, right? And he was stating, right, that the state of California is the most anti-black state in the U.S. And as a black man in that system, you do not have a chance. You do not have a chance. And we know some Muslim brothers who are on YouTube and social media. They actually verify this fact, okay? They're from California, okay? Brothers, I want you to understand this. This happened to a black man who is a public figure with resources and money. He can basically afford good lawyers. And in my opinion, his lawyers did a good job. The prosecutors were very clear. They very clearly did not prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that even Tory Lanez did anything with this weapon, right? They didn't prove their case at all. Not at all. Right? However, this black man who is, he's got wealth. He's got money, right? He can afford lawyers, public figure, no evidence, no DNA, no witnesses, including Meg Thee Stallion's friends, nothing at all. All they had was an allegation, and this happened to him. So if this could happen to him, what chance do you have? This is why this is important. We need to be very, very strict with our sons, very strict with our sons. And even if you have to go overseas to find them a spouse, you better do that. You better do that. Because black men being thrown in jail for things and crimes they did not commit is not unusual. It's not strange. But the way that this case happened and how public it was, it verifies very clearly what we have been saying all along on this channel. You understand? The brother black man, he says there was proof beyond a reasonable doubt, but not that Torey shot her. Exactly. The proof was that Torey is a black male. That Trump shooting anyone, that Trump shooting someone, melanin and testosterone combined are the bullet. This is what you got to understand. This right here is not about Meg Thee Stallion or Tory Lanez. It is about a system that, with impunity, will make any charge stick on a black man, whether they're guilty or innocent. That's what it's about. And unity is more imperative now more than ever. We've seen this happen publicly. That's what it's about. That's why I did this live this morning, right? So I thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, I don't want to make this live too long because even I just feel like disgusted. Even I have to mention these guys, right? These people are not good people by any stretch of the imagination, right? However, the outcome is what's important. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi